All right, Mom. Here we go with your upper body workout. I've broken it into 6 body parts: chest, back, shoulders, biceps, triceps, and your traps. So since we have a nice round number, we're going to do those 6 body parts as one exercise each, of course, but we'll do them as a superset. So one set for your chest, and then we'll immediately go into a set for your back until we knock out all 5 of the sets. Same thing with our shoulders and biceps. We'll do one set of shoulders, one set of biceps, going back and forth. So while one muscle group is resting, the other one is working. And then we'll finish off with the superset of a triceps exercise with a traps exercise. Again, doing that as a superset. When one is working, the other one is resting until we finish the entire set of 5 sets, just like we did with lower body. So with that in mind, this one is just going to require the bands that you already have in that set that I sent you. You see me holding 2 at the same time. It's just because I know that the blue one by itself isn't quite enough resistance for me. Same thing with the green. But if I jump up to my red, it's just a little bit too hard. So I need to double up these 2, and that gives me just the right amount of resistance for this first exercise. So our first superset is going to be a banded chest press, where we hold the bands in our hands, palms down. This is the cool little cheat code, just bring it around your back. It's kind of parallel with my scapula, with my shoulder blades, and then we just push forward. And with these, just like we did with lower body, we're doing them nice and slow. So I'm exploding out and then counting to at least 3 when I bring my elbows back towards my rib cage. But ideally, getting to 8. We're going to superset this with a seated row, where we're going to lay down on the ground or sit on the ground with our legs extended and the band wrapped around our feet, and then just do a rowing motion, just like I showed you a couple weeks ago. I'll show you this from the side. So at this point, I know that it's a struggle for me to get a full extension, so I'm going to consider that to be a full set. I think that was around 6 or 7. So now we immediately go into our seated resistance band row. And we just wrap it around our feet, keep my chest upright, and when I do this rowing motion, I'm dragging my elbows against my rib cage, or at least imagining so. And then when I come all the way back, you want to feel as though you could squeeze a finger between your shoulder blades. And then we slowly release it. So I'm counting to 8. 7, 8, and again. I'm going to add a little bit more resistance by crossing the bands here. I know that'll be just enough for me to feel like I'm doing some actual work and getting a better range of motion. I felt that one. I probably have one more good rep in me, and then I'll switch back to doing the chest. That was it. All right, so that was our first superset, and we switched right back to doing the chest with minimal break. And like I was telling you the other day, women need shorter rest periods than men do. So if you're getting to a point where it's been about a minute and a half of doing an actual exercise, in these supersets, then you're ready to go back and do the other muscle group. It's sufficiently rested. For guys, we need closer to about 2.5 minutes, sometimes even 3 minutes, depending on the muscle group. So the way that works out is it's almost perfect time with by the time you finish setting up for one exercise and executing it, usually about 1.5 minutes has passed. So that opposing or that other half of that superset, that muscle group should be ready for action the moment you transition into it without you needing to sit and look at a clock. That's it. With our rep range, we're aiming for at least 6 of each of these. Anything above 6 is perfectly good. But if you find yourself able to do 25, that means there wasn't enough resistance. We got to modify that your next time through. But if you're failing anywhere between 6 and 15, it's totally cool. Even all the way up to, as I said, 25. But if you're even in the range of 25, just go ahead and up that resistance so that you're failing somewhere between 6 and 15. That was it. Superset number 3. Halfway done with chest and back. Whew. Whew. Okay. Number 4. This is going to be our 4th out of 5 supersets. So this is our last one, doing them as a negative. Our 5th and final one is going to be at a traditional tempo. And once your wrist heals up, instead of using the bands, we can graduate you to doing push-ups. But until you can actually support any kind of load on that wrist, we'll do these instead. All right. This is our 4th set. Final one that's going to be a negative. Our 5th and final set will be normal tempo. God. Oh, okay. All right. This is our 5th and final set for our chest press. So we just hit normal tempo until we reach failure. Aiming for at least 6 reps. No more than 25. That was it. All right. And then our 5th and final set for the seated row. Same deal, traditional tempo. Explosive concentric rep. And then just a nice slow, not super slow, but controlled descent or controlled eccentric portion of the rep. Controlled. Controlled. Not ultra slow, but under control. What I do is I'm executing these as a 3 count. It's not 3 seconds, but it's a 3 count. So I'm saying 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like a human metronome. We're getting it. Oh, that was it. All right, chest and back, done. Now we're gonna do a superset between our shoulders and our biceps. So for the shoulders, we're gonna do a move. It's actually a variation I came up with that I call the lucky sevens. You know when you go to Las Vegas, slot machine, get all 3 sevens, that's a big win. So with this, our shoulders will be worked out as sevens. We're gonna target our rear delts, then our lateral delts or lateral shoulder, and then our front in sets of 7. And then the moment that you can't finish 7, that's when it's over. So we bend over and do 7 of these. Bent over row, nice soft knees. I'm hinging at my hip or at my waist. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And remember that trick I told you a couple weeks ago, where you want to extend your arms as far as you can, almost as if your knuckles could drag against the floor and drag against the corner of the room. So we come up and we do the next 7. Lifting these as high as we can. This is actually a little bit heavy for me, but I'm appreciating that it's pushing me. 5, 6, 7, and then the 7 front raises to complete our lucky 7, our slot machine lateral raises. 4, 5. I'm doing these together to save time, but you could do them like this. You could alternate, and you could do that for all 3 variations. If it helps you to really focus on that part of your shoulder that's working, totally go for it. I'm over here yapping. I gotta jump straight into my bent over raises. Gotta extend my arms. Ooh, felt like I failed at 6 right there. So I'll go ahead and do at least 6 for these other 2, and then that's it. Gosh. Whew. Yeah, 6 was it. Ooh, I think that was 8, but I wasn't getting full range of motion because that was tough. That was really tough. And that's my lightest band. So this goes to show we all have a long way to go sometimes. So our superset with the shoulders is going to be with our biceps. So we're just going to do a traditional banded bicep curl. So same position, I just switched them out because I knew that one was going to be inadequate for this move for me. So then we have our palms facing up, supinated, like you can hold a cup of soup. And we can either do these one at a time or at the same time. I'm going to do them one at a time because I don't want to give too much attention to my left arm. So with these, I know you noticed that I wasn't doing slow tempo with the shoulder exercises. We don't want to do negatives on those. We want to keep those high tempo / traditional tempo. But with this, we can go right back down to doing that nice controlled negative. Anywhere between 3 and 8 seconds. I'm aiming closer to 8. You just want to keep that upper arm locked in with the side of your body. So your elbow is sort of locked in with, or at least mine is, with my upper hip. And I feel my bicep against my rib cage the entire time. Whew. All right. Go right back into our shoulders, because with the amount of time that I spent talking and then executing that bicep curl, my shoulders are good to go. And sit up. Really extend my arms right now. So it's almost like I'm trying to reach my knuckles towards the ground, knowing of course they're not going to get there, but really reaching out and just staying extended the entire time. All right. Then we do our standing lateral. Whew, kind of failed at 6 on that one. So I never even got to 7. I'm gonna stay here for about 10 more seconds, gather myself so I can get that number 7. But I know that on this set, I'm just gonna go one time through because I failed before I got to that lucky number. Let me show you how this looks from the side. Go this way. I'm gonna have to look at my ugly arm. All right, that was number 2 for the shoulders. Now we're on number 2 for the biceps. All right, go from the side here. When I'm doing an 8-second count, the cheat that I use is that my forearm should be about parallel to the ground when I get to the number 4, and then you finish off, not fully extended, but close to it by the time I hit 8. 4. At 8, I'm almost fully extended, and I come back up. Whew. Give myself a minute, about 10 seconds here, because I'm failing before I get to 6. So I'm using what they call rest pause to squeeze out some additional repetitions. Whew. All right, number 3. Halfway done with our shoulders and biceps. There we go. Really extend the arms. Just give yourself that cue every time. The reason we do that, Mom, is so that our back doesn't wind up compensating for our shoulders. So when you kind of pull back, you almost unintentionally turn it into a back and a traps exercise. We really just want to do as much as we can to make sure that the shoulder is the only thing doing the majority of the work. Whew. I felt that one. I'm gonna go with slightly softer knees, because that shortens the band a little bit. Gives me a little bit less resistance as I have less stretch in it. Because I know I'm tired. The other thing with these Lucky 7s is the outside head of your deltoids, of your shoulders, they're working almost all the time. So this actually winds up being an exercise where, even though it seems like your lateral heads are only getting targeted once, they're doing the equivalent of like a little bit over 2 sets back to back. Because you can't fully remove them when you're doing those bent overs and when you're doing those front raises. Your lateral heads are still bearing some of the burden. Right? I guess I could have been extra dad punny and said they're shouldering some of the work. Teehee. Oh yeah. I lost track of what I'm on because I was yapping, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't 7 per side. But I'm gonna take this moment to gather my breath and do 3 more. Nope, I did 1 more. All right. Ooh. Okay. That was number 4. No. I did lose count. It's no biggie. We're not in danger of overtraining. No, I think I'm about to start number 4. Whew. Let's do it. I'm just going 1 time through. All right. All right. I don't know how ridiculous that's gonna look, but that's my workout face. Don't judge me, Mom. This is the 5th and final biceps exercise. Wait. No, it isn't. I got ahead of myself, yapping too much. This is our fourth and final negative set for the biceps curl. Sorry about that. Ah. Ah. Okay. Here we go. This is our fifth and final lucky 7 set. Oh, okay. Oh. Ah. Whew. Gah. Oh. Ooh. Hmm. 3. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Whew. Okay. 2 supersets down, 1 to go. All we have left now is our triceps and our traps. For the triceps, we've done this one before. We're gonna do the overhead extension. So, and you figure out this cheat code on your own. You can hold it behind your back, just like that. We'll put the other hand through the loop. So at this point, I wanna have my elbow pointed towards the ceiling and then pull a little bit in my trailing arm to create a nice taut situation. And we're doing these for negatives. Again, aiming for at least 6. Switch the sides so you can see. See my ugly arm? Gah. Oh, that was it. Whew. So that was the triceps movement. Then for our trap movement, I'm going with my heaviest band. For you, I think yours is also your red one, a little bit thicker. And we're gonna do a banded trap shrug. Again, right under our shoes. Stand up straight. And then after we stand up straight, lean forward ever so slightly. So if you standing straight forward is 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock is your head and 6 o'clock is your feet, I want you to come ever so slightly forward so that your head is at 11 o'clock relative to your feet still being at the bottom of the hour. So we're at 11 and 6. And what we do is with straightened arms, we just shrug our shoulders together as if your shoulders could touch behind your neck. Of course they can't, but you'll feel that bulge of your traps coming together. We do them slightly bent over so we can target more of the traps themselves and kind of stay in one specific spot. You'll see a lot of people moving their neck forward, back and forth, back and forth. There's no need for all that. Just move your head out of the way from Jump Street. And there's nothing wrong with doing them completely straight up and straight down. It's just that winds up targeting more of the upper part of the traps. And it kind of does a slight disservice to the middle and the lower part of your traps, unintentionally. Ah, oof. That's it for me on that one. One down, 4 to go. Okay. I'm doing these for about a 6 count on my negatives, just because I know the limitations I have with this arm. But if you can do 8-second negatives, that's awesome. Whew. Okay. Right back into our traps. Show you from a slight side angle again. This is straight up and straight down, perfectly fine, but we're gonna bend slightly forward and then shrug. If you notice, I'm talking less because I'm genuinely pooped. And you know, I turned off the air and turned off the fan so it wouldn't mess with the sound. So it's extra toasty in here right now. My goodness. All right. I'll show you. Gosh. God. Oh. Rest, pause. About 8 more seconds. Try to squeeze out this last rep. Oh. Right. Shrug. Show you how that looks. Straight up and straight down. Slight bend forward. Oh. Oh boy, oh boy. I'm hoping that was number 3 for my traps, and that this is number 3 for my triceps, because I did lose count. I'm not gonna lie. Whew. But assuming this is number 3, we're halfway done. And if you're watching this and you're working alongside me and you know what the actual count is, don't shortchange yourself, Mom. Just keep going. Keep going so you know you've done 5. Whew. Oh. All right. Whew. I think that was my 4th and final negative set for traps. And now I've got my 4th and final negative set for the triceps overhead extension. God, ooh, that was too much. God. 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 All right. Last traps exercise. We've only got 2 more total sets to go. The end is near, Mom. We're right there. 1 more set of shrugs, and 1 more set of overhead triceps extensions. And we're doing these at normal tempo. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 4 until failure. Doing a rest pause for about 8 more seconds. Try to squeeze out a few more. That was it. All right. We've made it, Mom. This is your final workout, final movement, excuse me. Your last set of overhead triceps extensions. Let's do this. Yeah, I'm happy because I know it's almost over. Whew. Normal tempo. Oh, that was it. All right, Mom, there you have it with your exercise bands. That was an upper body day. Chest, back, shoulders, bis, tris, and traps. If you're watching this and this isn't your first time through, great job. Keep going. I love you. And go eat something and hydrate.